Bangboos, these cute little guys are with us all the time, be it in the story or, as for the topic of this video, in our deadly assault runs. But we sometimes barely notice them, or even worse, don't think about them, even though we should. The choice of Bangboo can sometimes make a difference of up to 4,000 to 5,000 points in deadly assault. Depending on the team, that is, of course. So let's change that today. These are the top 10 Bangboos you should invest into, and any Bangboo not mentioned in this list is usually better to avoid, with some very few exceptions. Thank you Jason for helping me to compile this list. You will find a link to both his Twitch and YouTube in the description. But first we have to answer the question, why do Bangboos matter and why should we care about which one to use in which team? Generally, Bangboos have two primary purposes as of right now, Daze and Anomaly. Daze can help us to either get an additional stun window or reach a stun window earlier for better resource management. And more Anomaly application can either result in more damage for, well, Anomaly teams, but more importantly it also means more decibels for all teams. So essentially, Bangboos are all about thresholds and when or even if we are able to hit those. Each anomaly we proc will grant our current on-field agent 170 decibels and every disorder 85, with half of it being shared to the other teammates. That is not only meaningful enough that the choice of Bangboo can heavily influence when you get your ultimate, but also whether or not you will get an additional ultimate. But let's get back to the Bangboos. These are the top 10 Bangboos, in no particular order, you should invest into. LD Shop is a safe and reliable top-up site for your favorite games, such as Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, Withering Waves or Genshin Impact. Created by LD Player, LD Shop offers you affordable prices, even up to 30% off, through official ways and does not require any account credentials. Your server and UID are enough. Spend over $80 and you get to claim an internet membership for free every month. LD Shop is trustworthy, provides a fast delivery within minutes, and as you can see by the huge amount of positive reviews, is also safe and reliable. To make sure you can safely acquire your new favorite agent and don't have to worry about losing the ugly 50-50, go and claim your deals directly today, before it is too late. So go directly to ldshop.gg using my link in the description or pinned comment and save money today. Use my link and you will receive a 15% off and a 5% off coupon. Thank you LD Shop for sponsoring this video. Rocket Boo is one of the very few fire Bangboos and because of that actually a pretty good choice. As it will be the case for essentially all Bangboos, but like 3, its primary purpose is fire anomaly application for more decibels, but also inferno metal uptime as well as daze. It is the primary choice for many fire teams such as Evelyn, Soldier 11 or also Critneys, and if you have at least 2 fire agents in your team, you probably should use Rocket Boo. Yes, Orphe is a fire unit as well, but for Orphe, and also only Orphe for that matter, you really want Mercury. This is however also only the case if you have at least 2 Obol squad members in your team, and Mercury also has this very small problem that he gets very easily staggered, often resulting in him rolling on the floor more often than actually doing something. But if our little helper is actually doing something and not rolling on the floor, he is the best choice Orphe Obol teams have. If you don't have Orphe however, and you are still playing an Obol team with either Seed or Sambi, or you really favor the good old Miyabi Yanagi team, Agent Gulliver is the right choice here. He massively helps with electric anomaly build-up, which in the case of Seed and Sambi just results in more decibels and a better and more fluent rotation. For Miyabi Yanagi, he helps by passively aggregating more electric anomaly, which in turn means more field time for Miyabi and less field time for Yanagi, while also allowing for more disorders and hence enhanced basics from Miyabi. If you happen to prefer Miyabi's mono ice variants however, your primary choice will be, well, it is certainly not Shark Boo. While Shark Boo does have higher ice anomaly application than Penguin Boo does, it is also tied to the traps it lays on the ground, and if enemies don't walk into these traps, Shark Boo does absolutely nothing. But you know when the traps proc? Right, when the enemy does not move, or in other words, during the stun window. The problem is that said traps also shatter, which means it can literally brick your entire mono Ice Miyabi runs. And hence, instead of Shark Boo, you are looking at Penguin Boo instead. While Penguin Boo does have slightly less build up than Shark Boo has, it is much more consistent and it also doesn't shatter as much. Generally, Penguin Boo is better than Shark Boo in most cases. Miyabi or Yanagi, or well, any anomaly unit for that matter, can also however be played with Vivian, and if you play Vivian, you should pretty much always play Robin as well. Robin is the primary ether applicator, but he also only works with Vivian. I mean, technically Yugo as well I guess, but please don't play Yugo with Robin. More ether anomaly means more corruptions, and that in turn just results in more decibels and also more disorders. For any other ether unit however, and by that I mean Sujuan and Nicole, because there are no other ether units that care about ether anomaly, you do want Devil Boo. He provides great anomaly build up and can either help out with decibels or, in the case of Sujuan especially, chaotic metal uptime, which is especially important during stun windows. Devil Boo is better than Resona Boo in all circumstances, so just play Devil Boo. But Devil Boo has yet another use case, and that is Kaboom the Cannon, and more specifically Kaboom the Cannon's uptime. Devil Boo has a long spaced out attack, and each hit will refresh and hence also extend Kaboom's uptime. That also means for many supports that use Kaboom the Cannon, if no better Bangboo choice is available, Devil Boo becomes the primary choice even outside of ether teams. And that leaves us with the last three Bangboos. Lucky Boo, Bellion, which apparently is called B-Lion, but I refuse to call it that, and Excalibur. Lucky Boo is generally only used in double physical teams, which effectively means as of right now Jane, Piper or Alice with Yuzua, and without Vivian, or Nekomata with Dial Caesar or Pulchra. Lucky Boo has the highest days application in the game and is better than Bangvolver in every single case. Well, except one, because Lucky Boo does have a little bit of variance to it. Because his attacks are projectiles, they can miss, and depending on how many hits he lands, he might perform a little bit better or worse in different fights. Well, it depends. With Ye Chungguang and now Dialon being physical as well however, or a variation of it, at least in the case of Chungguang, Lucky Boo stonks just might go up. As of now, that is speculation however. And that leaves us with the Rupture teams. B-Lion is the choice for Yijuan, and if you play at least 2 Yunqui Summit agents in your team, B-Lion is what you should choose. If you play Yijuan with Dialon and Lucia however, and hence only have 1 Yunqui Summit agent in your team, Excalibur is the better choice. That is with nuance however, because there is one important thing that all Season 2 Bangboos have in common. After 3 copies, their faction requirement lowers from 2 to 1. That also means if you are like me and you really like playing Yijuan, I would much rather recommend you to pull 3 copies of B-Lion instead of leveling Excalibur. If you prefer playing multiple Rupture agents however and your team's base is not Panda and Fufu for those, Excalibur is the best generic Rupture Bangboo. And with that we have covered all of the top 10 Bangboo you should invest into. At least up until now. Wait, those are only 9. Who is hiding behind number 10? It is... Red Mokos! Yippee! Okay, so Red Mokos has the highest damage output of all Bangboos, often dealing multiple hundred of thousands if not millions of damage. Or in other words, he outdamages most supports and even some stunners. However, and this is a very big however, and technically it is 2 however, he does require 2 Caledon agents. Which means 2 of Pulchra, Caesar, Lucy, Bernice, Leiter or Piper. And secondly, he does physical damage, which also means he is only really good in physical weak matchups. All of that essentially means, at least as of right now, he is really only usable in either anomaly teams that use both Bernice and either of Lucy or Caesar against for example Fiend, or in free-to-play teams with Lucy and Pulchra. The problem here is then that at this point you are highly likely to already play double physical, for example Alice with Bernice and Caesar or Piper with Yuzua and Bernice, and at that point you know just play Lucky Boo instead, as these teams value days much more than damage. So in the end, I guess I lied. It is a top 9 list after all. So to finish the video, let me talk a little bit more about Snap. Because I know you will be asking about him. Snap has the very big advantage that he fits into virtually every single team. And he also has the very big disadvantage that he is not great in any of them. He will never be the worst choice and he will always be a worse choice in all of them. What a sentence. While he does provide a 10% damage bonus, which to be fair is not too bad, it also has a horrible uptime and is unlikely to be up when you actually want it to be up. And as we established earlier, there will be basically always a better choice than Snap for any team. But because he is not useless either, he also is not gonna be the worst choice. And hence, would I recommend him to you? Well, no, not really. But if you are unsure on what to use, he will not be the worst choice you could make. You could just choose something better instead. And with that sentence, we are at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe, comment on why Overtime Boo has factually the best animation in the entire game, and join the Discord. And special thanks to my YouTube and Patreon members who make this content possible. If you wish to support me, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the description, or click the join button right below this video. And as always, I appreciate all of you and wish you a great day. Peace!